Last live of the year. If you don't know yet, my name is Shanda Sumter, and I am going to be heading off on vacation for the rest of the year with my family. Who else loves Christmas? Any of you guys love Christmas? I'm obsessed. And I'm probably the first time in my entire life that I do not have a Christmas tree up in any of my homes, because we just bought a home in Puerto Rico, and our place in California, obviously we haven't been there. And so I felt a little bit behind today. I felt a little bit behind this morning when I woke up because I didn't have any Christmas trees. So my husband promised me, and y'all can, if you know Ash Gandahari, I want you all to go tag him today and say, you better set up the Christmas tree for your wife. You get it? Are we going to get a yes on that? Well, some people back me up on this. Tell my husband how important it is for me to have a Christmas tree set up, please. Okay. So this is it. This is going to be the last live of the year. So wanted to go out with what I think is an important topic, which is how do you serve your customers or clients? How do you take a break at the same time? How do you keep things going? And I would say it really comes down to you planning some of your content for now and the rest of the month. So listen to me when I say this. Your content is your brand. It's your character. It's who you are. It's, I'm not a big advocate on work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I see more people burn out than I can count. And somehow they think it has to do with something outside of them. It doesn't. It has to do with your leadership. And it is our own championship or victory or death of adrenal fatigue if we don't get responsible with our calendars and make sure we set ourselves up to succeed. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Yes or no? Do you hear what I'm saying? So this week I've been going live and I've been sharing how I'm shutting down the year and how I'm getting set up for next year, because I don't just unplug and leave. There's a good possibility I will end up working till 11 or midnight tonight as I'm finishing off all my deliverables so that the rest of the 3 weeks of December gets taken care of. And I think about the weirdest things, like, write this down. Do you have a Facebook or Instagram or your blog? Have you created a banner for it that's connected to the holidays? Right? Or are you going to roll through the holidays and your Facebook still has your regular picture on it or your regular banner on it? Or do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, it's important for you to have a character online as it is with you having a character offline. It doesn't take a lot. You can go to fiverr.com and for $5 or $10, have somebody create a banner that actually speaks to your brand. True story. I have a stylist. Her name is Carla, and she's amazing. And Carla, when I hired Carla, my registration went up by 600% in 24 hours. Nothing changed in my effort. Nothing changed in anything. It's just when you looked at my pages, it massively went up. And what I did with her, you couldn't have convinced me that was the case. Like, you couldn't have. I thought everything to my success came down to how much I worked, how hard I worked, how good my content was. But I'm telling you, people care about what you look like. Whether you like it or not, whether it's right, whether it's wrong. It's like one of those things where you can have your opinion all day long. There's, we can defend or be offended, or we can realize that people aspiring, it doesn't mean you have to, like, I look at some of my friends, I'm like, I have friends that like wear heels every day. And I'm just like, I don't know. I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't. Anybody else, you cannot wear heels all that. Like, I cannot wear heels all the time because it's not me. Like right now I'm wearing a baseball cap. I did shower, but I'm wearing a baseball cap. I'm wearing my favorite ATM t-shirt. I'm wearing my diamond necklace, my, expensive earrings. And I'm wearing literally a pair of Savvy shorts, like my favorite Savvy shorts that I absolutely love. I should have a link to them because some of you guys probably want to buy them. Who wants to buy them? Put the word buy in the chat. Seriously, put the word buy in the chat. Just look at the chat right now. Put the word buy in the chat if you would want to buy these shorts. Like, I love them. I live in them all the time. The reason why I want you to look at the chat right now is realize that that not just what I look like, because I'm casual right now, but it's like whatever you show up as, the audience size that you build are really people who have a great appreciation for you. And if you don't like who you're working with, or you feel like nobody pays attention, or your list is dead, or all the crazy things I hear, just so you know, single ladies, there are available men in your city. I hear that too. There's no single men in New York City. I got to move to California. Come on, like this is crazy, right? I already did, baby. It takes a minute to heat up. I know, because it's been 5 minutes. It takes a minute. Bye. Oh, you got me. Bye. Can we count to 3? It's at 80 degrees. What do you know Fahrenheit and Celsius? Yes. Weirdest questions. Is it Fahrenheit or Celsius? That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard from an 8-year-old. Anyway, so I wanted you to look that there are people who put the word by, that if I was actually prepared, I could have, like, if I was prepared to share that with you, and prepared means thoughtful. So I want you to think about, like, increasing your influence, increasing your authority because you're being thoughtful. Try not to think about, as you're going into the holiday season, you guys, this is the biggest buying time of the year. I mean, if you're a coach or consultant, you could be running a holiday special right now. Like, you know, you could, maybe you're in the fitness world and you're like, you know, I'll start your fitness routine now and you can bring a friend for free. Right? Bring a friend, a spouse, a sister, a family member for free. Like, what can you do to be generous right now and thoughtful right now and add? It would have been generous of me to create a shopping cart with my shorts or my hat or something like that, whether I was affiliated with the product or not, and actually share it with you. Does that make sense, you guys? Yes? So as you're looking at the rest of this month, I would really love it if you looked at where are going to be your off days. Do you know what I mean? Like, where are you a non-negotiable? I am going to do a call with my friend John Asraf tomorrow. I'm going to do a call with him, but outside of that, my year will end tonight at midnight. Does that make sense? And so anything that needs to get done has to get done by midnight. And John Asraf has a crazy artificial intelligence cloning technology that he wants me to look at, and I'm willing to look at it because we're good friends, and so that is connected to business, right? If you're not doing anything in AI, you need to be paying attention to it and stop putting your head in the ground. However, today's content really is about you, and it's about you, but it's also about who are your customers or clients. Even if you have none right now, you can get them over the holidays. I'll give you a great example. Maybe this will jog your thought process. And I'm going to give you a framework just so you know to talk to people. But like, I have a friend who his wife made him take off the week of Christmas. He didn't want to take off the week of Christmas. He's a workaholic. He loves to work. I hear all your guys say, but I'm not a workaholic. I just love to work. It's like, yeah, but it's also important to have a bit of a life as well, as far as I'm concerned. So his wife had him promised to take the week off. He did. So he put up a simple registration page, right? A simple registration page. And that registration page basically said, if you wanted to write a book that he was on holidays with his family, but you could put down a refundable $997, which is $1,000. You could put down a refundable $997. And with that refundable $997, he gave to people immediately. He actually gave his funnels and ClickFunnels, right? So he gave his funnels with authors that launched their books. He actually gave his launch funnel. So everybody who put down the refundable ticket for this, they were interested in writing a book, which was for him a $25,000 to $50,000 ticket price, right? Like, if you were to hire him, that's what it would cost. But he put down $997, so $1,000, and people would put that down and then got a book launching funnel. So was that thoughtful? Yes or no? Was that thoughtful? Like, they hadn't bought from him yet. They hadn't anything. They just put down a refundable ticket price. The reason why this is important is he came back, just so you know, with so many people who put down the $1,000 refundable. And he almost had an enrollment that was almost 100% at $25,000 or $50,000. He never would have guessed it would have done that. So what's the point of the story? Try not to be good, try and be giving. Right? Like everybody's complicating this thing called relationships so much because you're trying to make ends meet, or you're trying to be a good marketer, or I'm telling you, you can do better, because I know that you can do better, because if there was no pressure on you, like if making a sale or not making a sale didn't say anything to you about your identity or wasn't connected to your bills being paid, you would be more thoughtful. You would be more generous. And if you wouldn't, then you need to work on that. Right? So I challenge you today to not let the week end. Like you got today, you got tomorrow. Don't let the week end without setting up some time with yourself and a good old piece of paper, right? A good old piece of paper. And like, what if you just took some time off and you created some content? Could be maybe use your Instagram, maybe use your Facebook, and you pre-record things, right? Like on Instagram, I've got a post going out a little bit later in the day on Instagram that I created yesterday, and I scheduled it. I went to advanced settings and I scheduled it in Instagram to go out later on today. Well, do you not think I could do that for the week I was off? And in that week, like be sharing some sort of a promotional something, like instead of like, maybe it's like put down $300 and let's talk, and I'll give you X, Y, Z. And if we're not a good fit, I'll give you your $300 back. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Yes? Anybody out there hear what I'm saying? So like, I think a really giving thing to do right now would be to go in the chat and give some ideas. Now, this is not the best thing to do on a live because it makes you think. But it's really a giving moment to really just like, don't worry about people stealing your idea. In fact, worry more about or commit more about the fact that the more you give, the more you help people, the more you share ideas on what could work, the more it jogs somebody else's ideas. And what if you went in the chat and you shared a promotional idea that some single mom right now that needed to make money read, and it got her off her tushy? It got her out of analysis paralysis, and she actually did something because your comment right now actually unlocked her. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, it's like there's a great, I'm going to butcher this, but basically there's a great scripture in the Bible that says that, you know, God is working even if you don't see him. Right? And it's like when you operate in a way where you're generous and giving, what happens is that you'll just see miracles starting to happen in your life. And miracles come to people who need a break and people who are operating at a high vibration. And so, you know, giving is just, so I see Nicole saying, give a free workbook on how-tos. Yeah. Right? On 5 how-tos. I think that's great. I mean, imagine if I gave something, actually, here's what I'll do. If you go to hcbcoach.com and you get, I will give you strategy right now, hcbcoach.com. And everybody who goes to hcbcoach.com and shows up, of course, those lines are going to get booked, and shows up and gets a good business strategy, I will give you my point system on how to communicate and land your communication with someone and do a CTA, which is a call to action. Now I have to record that. I will record that today before midnight, and I will make sure that whoever you got the strategy from, my team doesn't know this yet, so that hopefully there's spots available, but if there's not, there's not, right? But go to hcbcoach.com and I will give you how to land any message and do a call to action. hcbcoach.com. Got it? Yes? So that's a great example of being generous. Like those coaches don't know you're coming, but they'll know in a second, right? And so book a time to talk, you show up, and I will make sure that either today when you show up or tomorrow that they send you the training, right? And I'll do a full, it could be, I don't know how long it's going to be on Pocket Coaching, but it could be 20 minutes. But I'm gonna, yeah, here you go. It's already turned on, baby. Okay, so I'll give you how to actually land any message and do a call to action, right? Does that make sense, you guys? That I just created that. I mean, another one that I think would be powerful, I'm just gonna create some, okay? And you guys vote 10 out of 10 or 1 or 2, you want it, okay? And I want you to use these ideas for you, change it. Right? Like change it, like play around with giving. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. My friend had no idea that he would have so many people put down $1,000. You know what I mean? Like he had no idea that put down $1,000 to get his launch your book funnel. How many people would buy a $25,000 and $50,000, package, right? That's wild to me. But what did he do? He qualified people. Instead of worrying about, will anybody take that? He qualified people that if somebody put down $1,000 and waited for a few weeks to talk to him, they want that. Does that make sense, you guys? Like they want that thing that he's offering. So another one that I could do is, I really want to figure out how to do this today. I want to do a raffle. Because I have a coaching business, I have a virtual assistant, an AI business, and I also have another company in network marketing that I work with as well, right? And so in the network marketing, if you are someone who wants to partner with me in network marketing, put a P in the chat right now. Put a P in the chat right now. Okay, so there's a couple of people putting a P in the chat right now, right? And so if I wanted to make some sort of, say I didn't want any tire kickers. I don't have this page set up, but if I did, say I didn't want any tire kickers, I could put up a page, or I could create just I've never used Venmo for this, but somebody tell me if you can do this. Can you use Venmo or something like that where you can create a payment QR code? Is that possible, you guys? Yes, no, maybe so. Somebody tell me if that's possible. Yes, it's possible. See, I'm just making this shit up. And I'm like, okay, well, I could actually just post that QR on Instagram, Facebook. I have an email list. You should all have an email list in 2024. You're really playing a dangerous game with your business if you don't. I won't train it again until February 5th, but you really should not be in a position where you don't have an email list. Okay, you're asking for trouble. Okay, but I could put, oh, my Instagram just shut. I could put, let me pop them back on. There we go. I could put that up on Instagram with a QR code that from my Venmo, and I could say from my Venmo, right? These are ways that you could actually give during the holiday season. I could take my time off, and from my Venmo, I could put down a $300, like you have to put down $300 to talk to me on a call to see if you want to partner with me in my network marketing product. And I'll show you, just so you know, I'm taking them on a 60-day journey right now of prosperity and success. It's a great time to join me in the network marketing company. But say I was going on the holidays and I'm like, you gotta sometimes just go, I gotta let go. So I might qualify, put up a Venmo QR code, and I could say, put down $300. I'll give you your $300 back if we don't join network marketing company. I'm taking the week off for the holiday season, but I'll talk to you on the 26th or 27th or whatever, right? This could work for your kids' birthdays. This could be work for your anniversaries. Like there's no reason why you have to stop and everything stops. Do you guys see what I'm saying? What would that do for me? That would show me those people who put down $300 are fundable into my Venmo. That like there's no tech required. Go to Venmo, go to YouTube and find out how to do it. There'll be a tutorial somewhere, get a Venmo and offer something. Be totally unattached, right? Totally unattached to whether or not people jump into it or not. I'm convinced right now that all of you guys could be making $500 a day. Some of you guys could be making $5,000 a day, but you don't think generously, you think transactionally. Doesn't mean you're not a generous person, but you think transactionally. And because you think transactionally, you're working extraordinarily hard to create a result. Now, I'll tell you, the best coaching starts to come out of me right now. Why? Because I feel like I have some space coming at the end of the hallway. This is why I take off a week a month. And when I don't take off a week a month, I don't have the creativity to think about things like this. some of you guys are so busy that you think you're stuck, but you're not stuck. You just don't have time to think. You just don't have time to think. And whether you're Oprah, me, you, if you can't think about how to take care of people, in other words, think about how to be thoughtful, it's going to hurt your bottom line. Whether you're a coach, a pastor, a network marketer, a real estate person, whatever it is you are, it will hurt your bottom line if you can't think about how to be thoughtful. Does that make sense? Now here, let me flip this. This is very empowering to me. Thinking about how to be thoughtful for someone requires no marketing education, no sales education. It's a heart transformation. Does that make sense with you? That's why I use the Venmo experience, where if you can go to Venmo and you could say, I'll help you. Maybe I'm a real estate agent. And I'm like, I'm going to show you how to renovate your house on a budget and make your bedroom, your living room, one room in your house. I'm going to pick your colors for you. I'm going to show you what furniture. I'm going to create a Pinterest board for you. I'm going to show you how to make it look like you spent like $100,000 on the most amazing designer for your house. I'm going to do one house with you. However, in order to get access to that call with me or to that Zoom call with me, whatever, one-on-one or group, here's my Venmo QR code, put down $300. As long as you come to that Zoom, I'll give you your $300 back. Well, why would you do that? Well, because if you could create that for someone, the chances of them hiring you is really high. I would do that on a one-on-one. And so all I did was say, I'm not going to burn through my holiday season spinning the wheel and working with people who are not serious. I'm going to put something out there that says, if you're serious and you want to renovate your house or build a multiple stream of income in network marketing, like who cares what the product is? You should be focused on the model, right? Or get business coaching or get therapy or get fitness, you want to get fit. Like, I'm not going to burn through my season and resent my job, because you have the power to not resent your job, because I didn't create something like a Venmo QR code for somebody to put down a refundable deposit to talk to you. Does that make sense? Because nobody's going to put down money to talk to you that isn't interested in working with you. It's not going to happen. Does that make sense? Yes. So as I'm going to take one question here on Zoom. Who wants to pop up and ask me a question about this specifically? And then I'm going to end this Zoom for today. And then I'm going to go on to getgoodcoaching.com, which is our on-demand mastermind, getgoodcoaching.com, and coach you guys. So let's go. How about Crystal Bell? You want to pop up? Can we spotlight her with me? And you guys on Instagram you'll be able to hear her, but you just won't be able to see her. Okay, what's your question?
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped up. I love this. So I'm creating my travel takeoff talks, but based on what you're saying, I really want to do a Venmo experience for someone and for travel for 2024, because that's what I do. And so I thought, what if I created a Pinterest board for travel, a list of free travel groups? There's a woman in my Facebook group who got a free trip to Switzerland to watch 2 cats.
Okay, stop. So that's the hook.
Yeah.
The hook is how one of my clients got a free trip to Switzerland. See, you guys overtalk things, right? So when you talk about something, a good thing to do is talk about it out loud and record it, and then re-listen to it and notice when you got into actually the part that would grab somebody's attention. So your hook is how my client got a free trip to Switzerland. If you love to travel, or it's one of your goals to do more of it, click here and listen, or whatever, right? And so you could do something like that. Or I'm happy to design a trip for you, or whatever, show you how to do it. You could segue. I kind of like the lead gen on that one. I kind of like saying, click here and I'll gift this to you. And on the next page, have something, or it could be in your inbox. By the way, it could be, send me a DM right now, right? They send you a DM, you give them the recording of how your client got booked in Switzerland, and you say, if you have an interest in doing something like this or in me coaching you around XYZ, then I'm happy to do that for you. It requires a $199 refundable deposit for us to get on the phone. If nothing else, you will get a good strategy. If we're a good fit, I'll apply the $199 to our work together.
So good. And then when you start getting in the attached energy, like, and you're saying stay unattached and you're like, oh, I'm unattached, but you feel yourself go there. Is there like a tip or trick you have to
Yes.
like?
So what she's saying, you guys on Instagram, is if you're in the sales process, you're in the enrollment process with someone, if you're feeling salesy, you feel like you're pushing, like you're trying, I call it laboring, you're pushing too hard, right? Then a great thing that I've told my clients so often is to just say, hey, I don't want to be pushy. Like I don't want to add pressure to you making a decision on this. I'm not attached. I'm not attached. And you guys might hear me say that over the years, right? Or next year I'll be doing something and I'll be going into an offer about something. And if I feel like I'm laboring, like I'm trying too hard to convince you, I will say, listen, I'm not attached. I'm not attached to jumping in, not jumping in. What I am committed to, and for me, I'm committed to you guys having a good holiday season this time and to not working through the entire month of December and then resenting your job or resenting your company and then going into 2024 where somehow you're okay with athletes recharging and recovering. And sometimes you're good with, like, if you go to the gym and you work out and like recovering that and taking amino acids and things like that, but you're not okay with the entrepreneur shutting it down because somehow you have made the connection that they're both important for success. Make sense? Cool.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Okay, you're welcome, Crystal. Okay, we're gonna pop her up. All right, you guys, let me end on a high note, and then you guys on the on-demand mastermind, I'm gonna pop back to you guys. And everybody else, I just wanna say, this is 2023. And I don't know how your year went. I don't know if you're happy with it. I don't know if you're unhappy with it. I'm definitely clear that as a business owner, you see the gaps. And you see them because of the fact that we were born that way. Like Lady Gaga says, I was born that way, right? You were born that way. You were born to be the person that leads people. And because you were born to be the person that leads people, you automatically like look at what's missing, what's in the gap, because you were built to see that, right? But just remember this, if you see the gap, this is going to save some marriages over the next holiday season. If you see the gap, it's because you have what it takes to close that gap. And so I just invite you to take back your power this holiday season. Look at the people who maybe trigger you this holiday season. And instead of pointing fingers or being off your game or even sliding into the end of this year and feeling like you didn't accomplish maybe what you wanted or maybe you did, I really invite you guys, and I have a pocket coaching coming out to my list on the 18th. About this to remind everybody is make a list of your accomplishments in 2023. This is not motivation. I'm not trying to motivate you. I'm trying to give you good coaching. I belong to a really high level entrepreneurship mastermind, and we are required every night before we go to bed, we are required to write what we accomplished for the day, whether it was personal or professional. We are required. Why? Because if you don't keep this thing right, if you don't keep your mind right, before you know it, the way you're built, that strength of seeing the gap, seeing what's missing, that gap becomes your devastation. It becomes your destruction. But you got to remember that, like, you were built like that because you're an entrepreneur. There's nothing wrong with you, but it is your responsibility to be able to prime your mind to realize what you are accomplishing. Now, if you've got a lack of energy or a lack of passion, it's because you're in a deficit of acknowledgement. You're not holding yourself accountable to notice what is working. And the only way that you get that energy back is to actually feel good about what you're doing, feel good about what you've accomplished, and you are responsible for that. So even though you might want to blame some of your sisters and your brothers and your spouses and whatever, and you could be right on all the things that is in their gap, but you need to remember that the reason why you can see their gap is because you are built like that. And what comes out of your mouth is either going to create or destroy. And so I look at myself as an entrepreneur and I'm like, I have got to be very, very responsible with my tongue. Like very responsible with what comes out of my mouth, because I can sink myself, I can sink you, I can sink my husband, I can sink my son, I can sink our house manager, I can sink people, and so can you. Because you were born with the same gifts that I was born, and we were placed in a position of leadership. And maybe you're not leading at the level that you could be leading right now. You can change that right now. And you change that by going and creating your accomplishment list. What really worked this year? What did you accomplish? Right? Like that list is a lot longer than you think. And when you get onto that, it releases energy, it releases stress. There are problems in your space right now that's the answer will just drop in, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was so simple to solve. But when your mind's not right, nothing is simple. Everything is hard. And unfortunately, because you were given this power of leadership, you will change the atmosphere of your house. And so if you want a great holiday season this year, whether you're single or you're in a beautiful partnership, I really invite you to be responsible for the atmosphere, and don't make anybody wrong that didn't watch this video. So if Aunt Bertha comes in and she's a little negative all the time, you have a way of, instead of making her wrong about that and storming off and being PO'd, the only reason why that you get that triggered off negative people is because, again, that gap is so big that you just want to run from it instead of taking responsibility for it. So take responsibility to help people get out of their emotional ruts this year, have more bandwidth because you've noticed what you have actually accomplished. That's what creates bandwidth, and patience is exactly that. And know that you have the full ability to drive 2023 into a great explanation mark, which is like, we're done. This is a part of my legacy. This is how I showed up. This is how I finished, which is way more important than how you started, right? Because so many people start strong on New Year's resolutions, but don't finish. You have, 3 weeks or whatever left to this year. How are you using them? But if you don't create an accomplishment list, I'm telling you, you will not use them to your greatest ability. So I encourage you to do it. I encourage you to ask people in your life to do it that you're spending time with. I encourage you to share it. If you have somebody who's challenging and will not sit down and do it, then just share what yours has done for you. There's nothing more powerful than role modeling and just, sharing what you noticed about yourself, what you noticed, share some vulnerability. I noticed I was getting in a rut. I noticed I was being negative. But what really happened when I sat down and did this accomplishment list is I realized that I accomplished that. It really was actually quite a remarkable year. You know what I mean? Like I built myself to who I am today. So if you have something challenging in your life that will not sit down and do this with you, realize that you just sharing your vulnerability of kind of what's up leveling in you because you did that exercise could cause them to go do it. But if nothing else, you will have the stable ground to stand on, that nobody gets your power. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything, all the different holidays. I probably don't know them all, but I'm just sending you guys so much love. I hope you finish this year the way that you want and in the character that you want. I will see you in the new year. It doesn't mean I won't pop on here randomly if I feel like it, but I have no more scheduled meetings on my books, except for John Asraf tomorrow. But other than that, I have no more scheduled meetings on my books, except for the montage and skiing and Christmas dinner, which I have no idea how I'm going to pull off, because now all of a sudden I have a bunch of people coming from Christmas dinner and I actually don't know how to cook. So you're welcome to send me recipes. You're welcome to send me recipes on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere of your favorite easy things for Christmas. And maybe I will try it, or maybe I'll just go hire a chef. All right, you guys, love you so much. Thank you for giving me your time, your love, your attention in 2023. It was an honor. It was an absolute honor to coach whoever I coached, whether you just joined today or you've been with me throughout the year. God bless, and I'll talk to you soon.